Japan Sam. Japan Sam. Japan Sam. Japan Sam. Japan Sam. Japan Sam. Japan Sam.
Friday night we hit the spot, all the ladies looking hot. Got my eye on a girl, looks so fine she rockin' my.
Hey there, welcome one and all to another edition of Deep Drive, or Deep Dive. Oh, I can't even talk, excuse me. And as always, this and another podcast in the Jazzy Group Rainy Day podcast family are brought to you by the power of 5. If you like what we're doing, consider supporting the channel, and at the very least, hit the like button. You'll be glad you did. We're going to talk today about something that I don't think is spoken about enough, or at least in a light other than negative, and that is the cheating phenomenon. And we all know that cheating is mostly done by men. But I'm here to ask you a very important question. Is it really cheating? Now, before you get your panties in a twist, let me preface this whole thing by saying I do not agree with cheating in and of itself. I just don't. It's something that I was brought up to avoid and steer clear of, and I tend to do that. Does that make it any stronger for other people to do so because I don't do it? I would say no, it doesn't. And the reason why it doesn't is because it's me. I am one person in a sea of 4 billion people on this planet currently. Just one. I'm not even a cog in the wheel. I'm a sprocket of a cog on the wheel. And we all are. So you can miss me with all the other stuff about he says he's cheating is good and this other thing. No, I don't. No, I flippin' don't. I'm here to tell you about something that a lot of people don't give much thought to. And that simply is, it's not cheating if the end result of the cheating or the concept of cheating is something else entirely. Now already I can hear you people saying, well, see, I told you he's nothing but a cheater. He doesn't want to cheat, this, that, and the other thing. He's trying to get men to cheat. Men aren't supposed to cheat, and this, that, and the other thing, and blah, 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 ad nauseum. And again, that's not why I'm here. I'm not here to tell you whether it's good or it's bad. What I am here to say is that it does happen. And once again, I hate saying this, but not all guys cheat. Just like not all women are whores. That's not true. What is true is all men have the capability of cheating, like all women have the capability of being a whore. And I'm going to say that again for those who didn't get it. All men have the capacity for cheating, just like all women have the capability of being a whore. Does that mean they're going to be a whore?
Nope.
Does that mean they're going to be a cheater?
Nope.
Absolutely not. No. But what happens is you get people who, for whatever reason, no, we're not even going to say that. I was going to say we have people that for some reason can't keep it in their pants. But that's not true either. That's not the whole thing. Because it's not keeping it in your pants. It's not dick discipline, although that does help. But that's not in a male's nature. And that's what it really comes down to. What is in a guy's nature? And to dive into that, we first have to dive into what's in a female's nature. Although the specifics tend to vary from women to women, or woman to woman, I should say, in a general sense, on a totalitarianism, in a total worldview, a woman looks for protection, provision, and resource gathering. That's it. Conversely, a guy looks for sex. And that's pretty much it. Now, once again, your individual needs will differ from guy to guy, but as a whole, that's what we look for. That's what we're trying to do, which is why we can spread our seed indiscriminately, as often as we like, for as long as we can. It is what it is. And women, on the other hand, they look for the best they can get for the long term. A woman, ideally, will deal with one guy for as long as she lives. And that's the way it was for thousands of years. They knew their role. And that's not saying it's a bad thing. They simply knew what was expected of them, and they fulfilled the role. They fulfilled the need. It's not good. It's not bad. It just is. It just is. Guys, on the other hand, we are hardwired to spread our seed as far as possible, with the end result of continuing the lineage. Because when it comes down to it, both men and women were put on this earth to procreate. No more, no less. Everything that you do after that is a bonus. But when it comes down to it, we were all put on this earth to procreate. Bible scripture in Genesis says that God that Jehovah ordered Adam and Eve to be fruitful, become many, and fill the earth. He didn't say how to do it. He just said do it. Morality is what makes it unacceptable. We're going to get into this thing from another standpoint. And we're going to look at somebody that we haven't looked at for a while. And that's Mr. Andrew Tate. Now, full disclosure, I don't agree with everything he says. I'm my own person with my own views, my own morality, my own thought processes. So I don't agree with everything he says. But there's a lot, especially in the realm of dating, that I do agree with. And I agree with it because it makes sense. So let's go over to our friend, Mr. Tate. Shout out to Mr. Tate and Fresh and Fit and the podcast crew down in Miami. Thank you very much for their content. And let's see what the man's talking about.
I'll give you another thought experiment. This is a thought experiment. If a woman sleeps with 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 men, and then the perfect man comes along who's very nice to her and treats her well, etc., because of what I just discussed earlier with the fact that people argue and nothing's perfect and she has unlimited options, she's likely to cheat on that guy and eventually leave him. Whereas if a man sleeps with 50 women and then the perfect little virgin angel who obeys him and does everything he says comes along, he's going to be obsessed with her. He's going to fall in love with her completely and utterly. Men can fall in love at any point during their sexual history. Women get 1, 2, 3 shots max.
Yep.
Then they die inside. Their hearts die inside, and they become gold diggers.
It's true.
This is the guys. This is the current cycle of society. The current cycle of society is this: men and women fall in love at a young age, teenage love, whatever. It doesn't work because young age never works, right? People used to get married back then. No one gets married anymore.
Right.
And if you don't get married, you don't have the kid young, it's going to end. Then they go out there, they find another guy they like, they fall in love. And then eventually he cheats, so they leave him because they've been told by society, leave a man the second he cheats.
No.
Then they get another guy. And that works for a while, and then it breaks up. Break up, go through a guy, break up, go through a guy. Most hoes don't even want to be hoes. They just keep going looking for this impossible standard that they see on Instagram. I want a man who brings me a G-Wagon full of roses and never cheats and flies me on jets, and he's 6'8" and makes $10 million a month. That's what I want. That's what I deserve, girl. I saw on TikTok. And they go through life looking for this unrealistic bullshit. They don't even mean to be. They're just going from dude to dude trying to find something that doesn't exist. And eventually, after they've had enough, their heart dies, and they think, fuck it, I'll just chase the bag. And then they become gold diggers. No, that's the current cycle of society on repeat. That's all that's happening.
How do you break that cycle? I disagree.
Hold on. One at a time, go ahead.
How do you break that cycle? Because there has to be something that society as a whole can do to address that, because it's a really sad thing.
It is.
No, it really is.
It absolutely is. And we need to prioritize the only thing that actually matters in the world. And that, for me, the only thing that matters between a man and a woman is a child.
Babies.
Yep.
I think it's beautiful that you have a child. I think it's a good thing. And nobody talks about that. We talk about, you meet a partner, you should be in a relationship, or even people who push the idea of marriage. Personally, and this is controversial, a lot of people disagree with me.
Nobody
the marriage. The kid matters more than the marriage. The marriage is a piece of paper, bro.
I saw your ex post. It was on point. Honestly, women who are like, I want to be married. I want the big wedding. I want all of this stuff. That's a transaction.
Of course,
That's attention seeking. I completely agree with that post that you made, 100%.
If women were dating from their teens, understanding their primary objective in life is to have beautiful children, then people would stay together longer. But most women at the age of 17 are getting with a man saying, I want kids when I'm 30. So what, you're going to be with this guy for 13 long years? No way. Of course you're going to break up. And then you're going to get another guy, and of course you're going to break up with him. If a woman decides she doesn't want kids till she's old, or older, sorry. The point is, it's nearly impossible to be with one guy because humans are humans and we argue and we fight. I can tell you now, the number one women I'm prepared to sit down and try and work it out with are the mothers of my kids because we have a kid.
Yeah.
If I'm with some girl and she pisses me off and we ain't got a kid, it's like, well, get the out of here. You think there's not another 19-year-old in Miami? Get the out of here.
Right.
So the only thing that matters is children.
Yeah.
We should be prioritizing children. Nobody's having children. The birth rate has collapsed. The world is literally imploding. It is literally over for humanity. Nobody talks about this. And the reason nobody talks about it is because it puts a burden of responsibility on females, which we are not allowed to do in society. If you put a burden of responsibility on females, you're the devil. If I told you that all of society was about to implode because aliens have come and aliens are going to destroy everything and there's going to be no humans left.
I believe in aliens.
Okay, good. So we need to conscript all of the men and give them guns to go and die against an alien invasion to protect society. You would sit and say, yeah, normal. Everyone's going to die. Men have to go and protect us. That's normal. If I sit and say society is going to implode, in 100 years there's going to be no one left on earth because women aren't having babies, someone should tell women to have babies, you're going to get offended instantly. How could you possibly expect women to have any desire to propagate the human race? How could you possibly expect women to have any burden to continue humanity? No, women have no burden. Women cannot be expected to do anything. All they should do is take Instagram pictures, spend a man's money, make TikToks, unimportant bullshit, which doesn't even benefit anybody. Then that's the truth of the world we now live in. No woman at the age of 18 in America, if I were to walk down Miami and say, who wants kids at 18? Nobody. And that's why the world's
Good point.
And until we fix that,
As always, I find no flaw or fault in his logic. He's just telling it how it is. And I honestly challenge, if you disagree with anything the man has just said, please write it in the comments below. Please write it there. And we'll go over it in another show. We'll parse it. And we'll talk about it. But it's objectively true. Nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to pretty much do what he says. Nobody. And yet, that's the way it is. Shout out to Mr. Tate. Let's get back to it.
it's going to stay.
Good point.
We had a big
Have more
debate.
kids,
They had a
girls.
big
Nowadays,
debate.
women don't want kids anymore. especially
Women
at
don't want
18.
kids.
I want
What they
kids.
want is Instagram, Birkin bags,
Boats,
traveling,
yachts.
yachts, drink, drugs,
I
and
want
then they need
12
money, so they
kids.
get on OnlyFans. It is the biggest waste of time.
Yeah.
Women waste their lives on the most unimportant bullshit. At least if a man doesn't have kids, by and large, he's trying to at least get rich. At least he's trying to get some money. Most women have no kids. They're not trying to get rich. You know what they're trying to do? Have fun. And it is a waste of time.
That's
They're
I don't think
wasting
This
their
is
best
because of
years.
social media.
Of
It's all
course.
because of social
Of course.
media.
Of course it is.
So if you can't admit that, you can't come at women as a whole for it.
I'm not coming at women. I'm
No.
And again, she's not getting it. Do you notice, and this is a problem that modern women seem to have these days, have you ever noticed that you could be having a discussion with a modern woman and you'll lay out your points and she'll jump to the wrong conclusion? Why is that? Why is it that you could say anything that you want and have the facts, data, statistics behind you to back up your point, and they'll jump to the wrong conclusion? The reason why they do that is simply because that's what they heard. Women have, for the most part, have selective hearing. That's not what I said. How many times have we done reaction videos like this and Myron or Walter or Pearl or anybody that's the moderator will tell you, that's not what I said. That's not what I said at all. How did you come to that conclusion? Yeah. of nothing. A whole bunch of nothing. Let's get back to it.
Explaining to you how the world is functioning.
Yeah.
I'm not your enemy. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm explaining how society is currently operating. And social media is the reason. You're right. Because a woman sits there and goes, my man tries his best. He makes $110,000 a year. He works in a factory. But you know what? I'm scrolling TikTok and I see this Russian in Dubai. She gets flowers bigger than my house. Maybe I can do better. Maybe I can get a richer man. Why am I going to lose the one thing I have to get men, sexuality, by having a baby with this guy when this guy over here is buying her all that? Maybe I should go on a girl's holiday. Maybe I should hold on a little longer. Maybe I can get a richer guy. Maybe if I just wait. And no one's having kids. And then they break up. That's
get on
what's
the stupid
happening.
bit.
That's what's happening.
I can see
Happens
that.
every
Of
day.
course.
Happens every day.
And before TikTok and social media and all this bullshit, if you were in Nebraska and you met a dude in Nebraska, you had kids in Nebraska. No one's sitting there talking about Dubai in Nebraska. No, but now everyone's sitting there talking about Dubai, messaging me, trying to get flown out. That's what's happening.
But Andrew, to your point as well, women will have a boyfriend, leave their boyfriend, go to a different state or country, where rich guys are at, stay there to find a guy that can match their dreams. So you're right, bro, 100%.
And their dreams, this is the most important thing. Women's dreams at a young age. When they get older, they get smarter. Women, by and large. But at a young age, are not children. No 20-year-old's dream is children. And if they do say they want children, they say, my dream is children. I want to be a mother. When? When I'm 27. Well, that's not your dream, is it?
Right.
So what's your dream now? Your dream now is a Birkin bag and being a dickhead on TikTok. Your dream is followers. Your dream is pixels on a screen because you're your dreams are literally going, wow, 100,000 followers. Yeah, I matter. It's ridiculous. You matter to your child. You matter when your kid looks in your eyes. That's who you matter to.
Yeah.
You don't matter to any of the men blowing up your inbox or any of the dudes giving you likes on Instagram. These men will you and not give a shit if you get hit by a car the next day.
They don't know that.
They don't give a about you.
Yeah.
But women are not smart enough to sit there and analyze how they've been psyoped by the Matrix specifically and purposefully to avoid having children. And I don't want to get political because I can do it. But if there's families, men are prepared to die to protect their family. Please understand this. If I'm in charge of a country and I come along and want to oppress a population and that population is full of families, now you have men who say, look, you can try and oppress me, but you're not going to oppress my wife and my kids. I'm going to stand here and defend this street no matter who comes because my wife and my kids live here. When there's no families, why is a man going to stand up and defend a street? He can leave. He can bounce. He can stay in his basement and play video games. Take the street. Don't give a shit. Men give up on defending society because they have nothing to defend. So
And again, I can find no fault or flaw in his logic. I was listening to this a little bit earlier today, and a lot of things that happen now make sense. And that's true. Let's look at it in a proper context. I'm sure that pretty much everybody within the sound of my voice has either read or heard the story of Adam and Eve. And we all know how that turned out. The question I want to ask is, why did the serpent, aka Satan, talk to Eve? Why did he talk to Eve? Don't know? I'll be more than happy to tell you. He spoke to Eve the same way all the marketers and stuff like that talk to women today, because they are easier to manipulate. Just make your argument based in emotion. And you got them. You got them. All you have to do is have people, or in this case, women, who feel the same way you do. And that's all, and you can write your own ticket. But that's why They're easy to manipulate. That's why Satan spoke to Eve, because he wasn't going to get through to Adam. No. He's going to take the path of least resistance. And when you got a man and a woman, the woman is going to be easier. And don't shoot the messenger. I didn't write the news. I just reported. But that's why. Now, we're going to tie all this in to the cheating phenomenon in a little bit. Let's listen to a little bit more.
By convincing women to not have children, now men don't have a vested interest in resisting slavery. And it is only men who can resist slavery. Only us men, Miss Crossed Arms, only us men can defend you. Only us, we can defend you from government, other men, anything. That's what men do. So unless we have a vested interest in building a better world, which we're only going to have through family, most men you see in the world today have given up. They sit at home, playing video games, smoking weed, and when the government comes along and says, I'm going to oppress everyone and make everybody slaves, they go, I don't give a f***. I ain't got a family anyway. No woman talks to me because I ain't rich. I ain't got kids anyway. F*** it. The people in charge of the world have specifically convinced women to not do the number one thing since the dawn of human time they were obsessed with doing, which is birthing children.
Yeah.
It's incredible the level of psyop which has been successful. It's truly incredible. They've convinced women to not want kids. Isn't that remarkable? Haven't you seen a woman around a child? Haven't you seen like a woman sees a kid and gets baby fever? In most of the world, I've been all around the world. In most of the world outside of the Western Hemisphere, women love the idea of kids. They have a kid, their aunt is there, their mom is there, their sisters have kids, big families, all the women, all the kids. But in America, they're like, no, I don't want a kid, I want a Birkin. You're a bro. You're
And again, I find no flaw or fault in its logic. All day, every day, and twice over the weekends. This is the only place in the entire planet. Because I'm talking about America specifically, the West in general, but America specifically, where the idea of family ranks so low on the totem pole, if it's there at all. Oh, you want a family? No, not yet. I haven't really traveled. I haven't experienced new things. I haven't had enough fun. Well, when do you think you're going to get married? Oh, well, somewhere in my 30s. And that comes into Mr. Tate's argument because, as we all know, women have a finite amount of time to have kids. By the time you're 30, you used up 90% of your eggs. 90% of your eggs. I want that to sink in. At the age of 30, 90% of a woman's eggs are gone. And because they're a finite supply, they're not coming back. On the opposite side, a guy's spermatozoa is infinite. He's constantly making more. Which is why a man could be in his 60s, 70s years old and still bust a nut. Because he's always making them. Women, no. 30, at 30, 90% of your eggs are gone. At 35, you begin to enter the age of geriatric pregnancy. And that's when things that can go wrong start to go wrong. That's when autism kicks in. And deformities like that. At 40 years, you're pushing. 45, no. Not happening. Because right around that time is when menopause kicks in. And menopause is your body's way of saying, baby factory is now closed. All your eggs are gone. Time to start thinking about doing something else. Now, how do you think that has to do with cheating? Let's get back. What it does, cheating in and of itself isn't a good thing, it isn't a bad thing. It's like predation in the animal world. They don't do it to be good or bad. They do it to survive. They do it to further their bloodline. And it's also one of the few things that men and women do that don't have to be taught. They just do it. And all this talk about cheating and cheating is wrong and I'm gonna leave and all this other stuff, it begs a very important question. And the question it begs is this. If a man is doing what he's supposed to do, which is to provide, protect, and give resources so that the woman and or children can live their best life. And every now and then, he steps out. Is that really worth leaving for? Because let's rewind it all the way back to what I said earlier. A man is only as faithful as his options. Shout out to the great Chris Rock for that one. A man is only as faithful as his options. The more options he has, the more he's inclined to cheat. Or I should say, have an affair. Step outside the marriage. Because I'm not going to call it cheating from this point forward, because it's something that a lot of guys want to do. And not even because it's fun. It can be. But not because it's fun. It's because they're hardwired to do it. They have to do it. They don't want to do it. They have to do it. It's part of their DNA. It's part of what makes a man a man. How far along have you spread your seed? What made it bad then for guys is that if you had sex with another woman and she fell pregnant with your child, you're on the hook for it. Now, a lot of women will sit there and tell you, well, I'm gonna leave because he couldn't keep it in his pants. Fair enough. And to all those that think like that, I'll ask you a simple question. Should we get rid of you when you constantly want things that we have a hard time providing. Should we? Let's get back to it.
I agree with a lot of the things that you said, but I kind of want to touch on like what he was saying, how women feel like they should just be pampered, especially like when we went through in 2024 with them going through the draft, and women felt like they shouldn't be added to the draft, and it was really messed up because I mean I'm in the army, and I feel like even as a mother, we all should be able to protect our country, and a lot of women feel like, oh, I'm a woman.
You wanted to go to war?
Oh no, I joined. I'm in the army.
But I mean, that would put us at a disadvantage. Like women don't.
The only thing that drives me crazy, this girl Amy, she's been on Fresh Fit a few times, and she knows what she's talking about, but she has a habit of hijacking the show, and I wish she'd stop.
Or some people don't realize the army is more than just going to war. A lot of us have jobs. A lot of us are police.
Right, behind the scenes stuff. That's different.
There's multiple things, but at the end of the day, it's that women feel like, oh, I shouldn't be put in this box. A man should go fight for us.
Yes.
A man should go do this, and it is unfair. A lot of us.
Okay. If you didn't know, I'm here to tell you. Most women wholeheartedly disagree with what this girl's talking about. She's in the army. Good for you. Doesn't mean there are others. There are myriads of women out there who feel the same way that you do. There's myriads of women who would rather stay at home than to pick up a gun and fight for anybody. And yet she's making a case for like the 2 to 3% of women who are in the armed forces. And how many of them do you think don't suddenly get that urge? Oh, this ain't right. I want a family. I want children. Let me prioritize that now. And this is after they've given up the best years of their lives in pursuit of nonsensical things. And again, I'm not saying that earning money and things like that are nonsensical in and of themselves. Everybody's got to live. So I understand that. But I also understand that there are women out there, quite a few from what I'm told, who have figured the code, cracked the code, and they're now winning because they figured instead of running around my best life, having my best life, I'm going to prioritize getting a family and living my best life that way. Women that have 7, 8, 9, 10 children, they start when they're 16, 17 years old. Some of my best friends on the planet. Matter of fact, we have cousins that came from a 10-family household. 12 if you count the parents. 10 children. 10. And their mother cracked the code, and now I'm not sure what she's doing now, and I've got to fix that. I really don't know. I got to fix that. But I'm thinking that she's content in the fact that our bloodline will continue. My kids will have kids. We'll have kids. And our name will go forward. Is that a bad thing? Let's get back to it.
Well, women can't do what men can do. Like
a lot of women can. We can do a lot of things.
No, I'm sorry.
Some women can provide. A lot of people, like he asked earlier, is your parents married? A lot of us was raised by single mothers.
May I?
So I just feel like personally, sometimes.
Wrong. And see, again, she's taking it back to her. She's taking it back to her worldview, her situation, her anecdotal evidence. Now, what Amy said is basically true. All women don't want this. There's not a line of women beating down the door to get signed up for the military. And this is peacetime. So you know they're not in it for war. They'd rather be at home with the feet up, relaxing, watching television, doing whatever women do, than to be on foreign soil somewhere, getting shot at and possibly getting killed for an ideal. And again, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just reporting the news. I don't create it. We're going to go ahead a little bit in this. And see what they're talking about.
Here's the thing. I've been on this podcast literally 4 years ago, and here maybe you're 20 years old. Okay, so you're gonna learn when it comes to time.
You're in love with your mom.
No, she can just see the truth.
No, I'm in love with my fiance, and he agrees.
Doesn't mean
You see? Excuse me. You see this? Because she disagrees with her, she is now attacking her. You're in love with the man. No, she simply agrees with him. It's what he's saying makes sense. What she's saying makes sense. And she doesn't see that. Let's continue.
I don't know much.
No,
I can see a person through a person.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that with time you gain wisdom, and wisdom is applied application. It's learning through your personal experience what you go through, and you're gonna learn in time that, dude, we're literally below replacement levels if we don't adopt this strategy, or people aren't religious and get married and stay monogamous and have as many kids as possible. It's one of those two things. If they do those two things, the human race will survive. If they don't, we will perish.
She's right. Do you know what the biggest achievement in your life has been so far?
My daughter.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
I know that because she is. She's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Absolutely.
And a lot of other women are sending kids back to
absolutely.
guys.
And so
It actually made me more mature.
All right, hold on.
More
Let me
of a
ask you a
woman.
question real fast.
No.
So, whose show are you on?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what? What'd you say?
So,
What'd
some
you
of you
say?
ladies are just rude to be rude.
What'd you
I'm
say?
like, you know.
I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
No, you
Just
heard
shut the fuck up and
What was
listen
your
for 2
question?
seconds.
You
It's
heard
very
us.
simple, okay? Right
What
now,
was
your
your
guy.
question?
Right now, I'm gonna get to it. Right now, your guy. You said he's in jail, right? And he's not able to be
we're
there
not
and
talking
provide
about
for
that.
you
We're not
and
talking
everything else
about
like
that.
that.
But we're not talking about that.
Well, I need to use that as an analogy. What I'm
No,
gonna say
you
here.
don't need to use that because we're not talking about that.
Yo, who the fuck are you talking to, bro?
just
Shut the
used
fuck up when I'm talking, okay?
Talking to you.
Shut the fuck up when I'm talking.
He's not fresh, dude. Oh my gosh.
Yo, get the fuck off my man. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of my.
I thought you
Frank
were
Castle.
Here you go.
Frank Castle.
Can't just be really polite to dumbass bitches, and you guys are rude. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Ridiculous.
All right, leave.
Get dressed up. Get the fuck out of here.
Andrew's nice, but you.
Yeah, you're.
And the kick/castle appears. Unflippin' real. Unfreaking real. And here's the kicker, guys. Here's what really drives me nuts. I shout out to Myron and Walter and everybody else who said it, which repeats is worth saying again. If she talks this way on a podcast with thousands of people listening, millions of views, if she can talk this way on a podcast, it completely blows my mind to even begin to contemplate how she talks off camera when there's nobody else there. Could you date someone like that? I know I couldn't. I know I couldn't. Let's get back to it.
Get dressed up. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
He wants you
Get
to.
the fuck out of here.
Best of being too comfortable.
I don't even know why the fuck you brought her back here, Chris, to be honest. She's
But
Get her out of
fine,
here.
fine.
I was annoyed when she came with Clive.
Bye. Yeah.
You can go.
Yo, just get up. Just get up and get the fuck up out of here.
You can have your own show. Thank you.
Bye.
If you notice, when he asked her to leave, she just smiled. As if to say, he's not talking to me. I don't know who he's talking to. It's not me. But it's exactly who the flip he's talking to. It's exactly who he's talking to. How many times have we seen that? Where he'll ask someone to leave. And they'll sit there another 30 seconds to a minute, 2 minutes. Just look around like, No, get up and get out. Get up, get out. Let's listen to a little bit more of it.
Yeah, bye.
Sure, because I
Retarded. Like, incredible. Get the fuck up out of here, bro.
Imagine I go to someone's podcast and does that to them on their live show. That's crazy.
Yeah. What
Incredible.
did I do to you?
Did a lot.
Anyway, back to what I was going to say. I think Andrew's strategy here is basically he just wants to have multiple wives or multiple women and have kids with them because he's trying to have as many kids as possible. The only way that you're going to accomplish that is by multiple women. I know some of you guys have an issue with that, but I mean, look, you can either have a loser that you could be that's going to be loyal to you or not. And I would argue most of you guys would prefer to probably have a winner that would take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's look at this historically, right? Let's say, all right. So, historically, what were kings always trying to do, right?
Have multiple kids.
Have to have as many children as possible, and specifically sons.
Yep.
And that's because you have to hand the empire over to somebody, right?
Yep.
As much as I love my daughters with all of my heart, why am I going to give hundreds of millions of dollars to my daughter so she gives it to some dude she marries?
Yeah.
That's not Tate money anymore. That's Tate money. I earn that money. Me, Tate. I want Tate money. So you want to have sons, right? I'm not actually advocating that men who cannot provide and protect for multiple women should do it. I actually believe a man should pay for his stuff. I'm not saying the government should come along and pay for it. I'm not saying we should have all these kids on welfare. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying certain men in certain positions, if they're primarily focused on having as many children as possible, should be able to do that. And I'm not the only person doing it. Elon does it. Trump does it. All these rich men are like, well, I can pay for all this and I want a bunch of kids. I know a guy with 300 kids. He owns Telegram. Good friend.
really?
Good friend of mine. Yeah, because he's a billionaire.
Yeah.
He's a good friend of mine, right? So
Is he paying women to have his kids? Or is that true?
I think he has a sperm bank or something. They can just go there and get have his kid and get rich.
Real man.
Yeah, real G.
He's populating the world. Let's go.
But the point I'm actually making is, as much as our friend who just left and other people think I'm disrespecting women, I think the most respectful thing you can do for a woman is turn her into a mother. I think that's actually how you respect a woman.
Yeah.
If I'm going to say to you, I have no intention of turning you into a mother, I just want to f you left and right all over the hotel room, and she's going to sit and go, well, I enjoy it too. That's stupid. And the woman loses in that equation. The woman loses, not the man. You know, there's actually a really important language trick I noticed, and I only hear it in America. I've never heard it anywhere else in the world. Women will go, I f***ed him. No, he f***ed you.
Yep.
You didn't f*** him. He f***ed you. And only American girls say that as if they're somehow getting something from him. No, he just extracted all of your value right there. He f***ed you. You don't f*** him. This is an American bullshit thing that you need to get out of your brain. If you're a woman, you made a point earlier. What if she doesn't want kids? If you don't want kids, don't f*** him. If you're not going to have his child and you don't see yourself with him forever, you don't believe he can pay for and protect you and provide you with a happy home for a child, you have no intention of ever having his baby, then don't f***ing have sex with him.
Facts.
That's
Let's get back to the big screen. Again, I find no flaw or fault in his logic. And that by itself, right there, that one piece of advice will stop a lot of BS. If you don't want to have his child, don't have sex with him. Abstinence is the best form of protection. You can't get into trouble if you're not there. You just can't. To put it in another context, if you don't want to be in a fight with somebody, stay off the street. Because being in the street increases increases the probability of having an altercation with somebody and getting into a fight. It just is. So if I'm not out in the street, I can't get into trouble. If I'm not messing around with these boys, I can't get pregnant. Now, of course, these days they have Plan B and birth control and all this other stuff like that. But it's still the best way to not get pregnant is to not have sex. End of story. Now, a lot of what he was saying also can tie into the cheating phenomenon, or as I say, affair, illicit affair, I should even say, is because men need sex. It's not even that they want it. They need it. It's hardwired into them. Again, not saying it's right. Not saying it's fair. Not saying it's kind. Not saying it's just. It just is. And because there is no emotion when a man has sex other than ooh, ah, because there's no emotion tied into it, we can do it. A man could pound a female into next week. get his rocks off, leave, go home, and love his woman just as fiercely, if not more fierce, than when he left in the morning. Again, don't shoot the messenger. I don't make the news, I just report it. That's it. But this whole thing about illicit affairs and them being right or wrong has no bearing. And I said all that to say this. Women who want upper tier men, men that have status, they have the name, they have the resources, they have the money, they have the riz, they have the swag, all that stuff. Men who have that also have options. I'll say it again. Men, upper tier men who have the traits that women want also have options. And if you want to live that life, just be aware of what comes with it. Now, not everybody thinks that way. There are guys out there who have everything you need and can be faithful. They can be monogamous. But that's contrary to their nature. They simply want that. And there can be reasons behind it. But it's not either here or there. I'm not worried about the why. I'm worried about what is. And what is that they don't necessarily have to do it. They don't want to do it. So they don't. But most guys, no, it's good. All guys want to have sex. Most won't. And the few that do, depending upon resources, depending upon status, depending upon wealth, they're gonna have more than one because they can pick more than one. Again, it is what it is. And with that, we've come to the end of another one. Thank you very much if you made it this far. This has been a long one. But as always, we operate in the realm of 5. Like, comment, subscribe, notify, share. If you just do one, like the video. It helps the algorithm help us reach more people to further engagement and maybe, just maybe, help somebody who needs help. Because if we just reach one person and we can change their lives for the better, our job is done. And with that, this is OBJ saying thank you one and all again for watching or listening to us. Be kind to one another. Do better. And we'll see you in the next one.
Japan Sam. Japan Sam. Japan